Let's see what they draw up here. 3rd and long following the sack of Trubisky. From the shotgun is Trubisky, and that is incomplete. And the great veteran Eric Berry back to knock that one away. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half, and I'll bet you the offensive coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Chiefs will have excellent field position here as they take over. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They run it again with Williams. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. That's going to set him back 5 yards. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Following the penalty, it's Williams. Down right around the 25. Give him a couple on the run there. It'll be 2nd and 13.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Now they'll throw with Mahomes. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Here we go now.
From the gun, it's Mahomes. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And the kick by Butker is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And that is incomplete here. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. With that ball hitting the ground, let's take a spin around the league real quick. You know, last week we discussed the head coaching vacancies. There were 8 of them. Well, a lot of those places have already found new coaches, Charles. Some old faces in new places. Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay. Adam Gase staying in the AFC East, jumping from Miami to the Jets. And how about some of the new fellas?
Yeah, how about Cliff Kingsbury? He went to USC to be the offensive coordinator after losing his job at Texas Tech. Ends up being the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Freddie Kitchens gets the job in Cleveland, gets the promotion. Vic Fangio finally getting his shot to be a head coach. He's going to Denver. And Matt LaFleur, he's going to work with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
That leaves us with 2 remaining spots, Cincinnati and Miami, still searching. And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. The linebacker, Anthony Hitchens, there on the stop. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Let's go, let's go.
From the gun, it's Trubisky. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
The Bears on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the 4th quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Now they'll throw it with Trubisky. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. And the Chiefs are going to signal for and be granted another timeout. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with one more plus the 2-minute warning. And we'll be back. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. And the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Now Trubisky. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up fourth. And Parkey's kick is good. And that moves them up by a touchdown now at 17-10. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And now here comes Kansas City. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Leonard Floyd in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Now Mahomes throwing on second down. He's going to let this one go deep. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is third and long. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And going deep for Hill. And oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Prince Amukamara. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. They begin the drive on the ground with Cohen. And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Again, it's Cohen. Whoosh. And now running right through it. And he's got this down to the 35. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And that's a tired defense out on the field right now. They desperately need a stop to get the ball back to their offense, but they're having trouble getting that done. Another gut-wrenching run right there.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. A beautiful spin and room to run. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5. This is Cohen. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And it's off the left upright. Oh, my goodness. Heartache. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So we would have figured that one to be 3 points in the bank, but this game, can be unpredictable at times.
Yeah, he knew he needed to pull it ever so slightly to get it going in the right direction, but he seemed to put a little too much on it, and from short range, that is a bad miss for an NFL kicker.
Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
Here we go now. Green 90. Green 90.
One final try from Mahomes. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
money back. Money back. Money back. Make it like a money back. Money back. God, I do the Maybach on Monday, Ferrari Friday. This is sweet Saturday, that's just what plastic. I said, babe, he said it's a them pretty. You look like Beyonce.